If you want some perspective on how North Park has changed over time, talk to Vicki Granowitz. Right now, we're crossing one of the neighborhood's main intersections, 30th Street and El Cajon Boulevard.
Probably approved them.
Granowitz has lived in North Park for nearly 30 years. Most of that time, she's also sat on the North Park Planning Committee, a volunteer group that advises the city on growth and development. Right here, development hasn't been very efficient.
The area's had a lot of empty storefronts, vacant lands, underutilized spaces. So we're really hoping that with the new interest in increasing density and bringing vibrancy, that this can become a really amazing area.
Granowitz has been active in helping the city craft an update to the North Park Community Plan. It aims for denser housing and mixed-use development along the main transit corridors. The idea is with more people living within walking distance of jobs or near bike lanes and public transit, more will be able to get to work without a car. So, let's take a look.
What do you want to start with?
Accompanying the community plan update is its environmental impact report. The city published it about a month ago. In more than 800 pages, the city analyzes how all of this new development will affect everything from air and water quality to noise pollution. Granowitz and I flipped through the pages looking for an important section. The traffic. Is that in a different section? Transportation is the state's biggest driver of greenhouse gas emissions. And remember, the whole point of this community plan update is to get people out of cars. So Granowitz and her colleagues were surprised when they read some of the report's ideas for easing traffic, taking away space for bikes and widening roads.
I went, oh my God, that's exactly the opposite of everything in our community plan. That we are doing nothing but asking for bicycle facilities. I mean, the idea is to get people out of cars.
So why would the city think widening roads and nixing bike lanes could actually improve the environment? The answer is complicated and wonky, but try to bear with me. The city used an old method for analyzing traffic called level of service. Under this method, high-density housing could be seen as bad for the environment because the surrounding streets may get more congested. Slow-moving cars pollute the air, so adding car lanes to speed up traffic would actually appear to reduce pollution. This has been the thinking across California for decades.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Nicole Capritz heads the nonprofit Climate Action Campaign in San Diego. She and other environmental groups want the city to switch over to a newer way of analyzing traffic called vehicle miles traveled.
Level of service is really how do we get people from point A to point B in their cars as fast as possible. Like, it's a pretty one-dimensional analysis. And vehicle miles traveled is how do we enable people actually to use different modes of transportation and get there also, in a reasonable amount of time, but using not just the car, but also biking, walking, and public transit.
State law is expected to make this new method mandatory by 2019, but there's nothing stopping cities from adopting it early. San Francisco did so in March. Capritz says she understands San Diego needs time to adjust to a whole new way of doing things.
But as we're doing these new community plan updates, the concern is that, well, wait, we're still developing and deciding where we're going to do our community build out and our growth based on old kind of modeling standards.
The city of San Diego declined an interview for this story. A spokesman said in an email that San Diego, like many other cities in California, is following the state's lead regarding vehicle miles traveled. And he said switching to this new method shouldn't affect the city's ability to get people out of cars. Experts I talked to say that misses the point, that San Diego needs real numbers, data on how or whether all of this new development will change our behavior.
The key question for me is it enough? And another key question is, are they pairing it with the right kind of new transportation infrastructure to make sure that there's that synergy to allow people who are living close enough to, again, bike lanes or bus or trolley to actually take a different mode of transportation to work. And I just am not sure that is accomplished in this plan.
The North Park Community Plan update goes before the City Council this fall. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.